everyone, it's Sally with the Polka Dot Life. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I hope that you will consider clicking the red subscribe button below and become one of my regular viewers. I love having you here. Today, I have a quick and super easy fun fold card for you. It just goes together so quickly, and you can use any stamp set, any color. You can make it a beginner card or an avid card. The choice is up to you. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video to see some other examples. Just a reminder that our annual catalog will be ending soon, and many of the stamp sets and die sets will be retiring, along with some other embellishments and so forth. Head on over to thepolkadotlife.com, click that shop tab, and it will take you to my Stampin' Up store, and you will be able to see all of those items that are on special. Some have already sold out, but there are many, many great options still available. Let's flip the camera down and get started. We are going to be putting together the cutest fun fold card today, and it goes together pretty quickly. We are going to start with our basic white thick cardstock. This might actually be a piece of Whisper White thick. It feels a little bit like that. I've got some Bumblebee, and I have a piece of Designer Series paper, and that is from the Fine Art Floral Designer Series paper pack. And we are going to be using the Art Gallery stamp set today, but I have several examples. And I'm going to try something a little bit different with this version than I did in my examples. Same design, just one part of it's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to learn together. I'm just simply going to layer these up. This is such a beautiful piece of paper. I hate to cut it almost, but I guess I was just drawn to this blue today, and that's funny because I'm really not a blue person, if you didn't know that about me. And then I'm also going to, my glue is kind of erupting here. And I am going to layer this right on the top. Now this is the part that's different. I have never used my die cutting machine to cut through 3 layers at once. I can do 2 without any issue, but we're going to give it a try for 3. I just thought that this paper got a little bit lost without this bumblebee behind it. And so to start our process, I just have one of our layering circle dies, and I'm going to put it in this general area. Now, when I put it through my die cutting machine, I'm going to want to make sure that it's open because we don't want to cut through the back, only this front layer. And I will, like I say, I will just mess with it when I get over to my machine. I don't really want to cut a lot of this away, but you kind of have to sacrifice a little bit. So I will definitely save the piece that I cut out though, and maybe I will find a place for it in another card. I will be right back with this cut out. Okay, it actually worked. I did have to run it through back and front, but it did cut through very well. You just want to maybe take a minute and look through just to make sure that your layers all cut through, like there's no places you need to put a little glue or a glue dot or something in. I am sure you're all thinking, but Sally, you said we were doing a fun fold. This looks like a pretty straightforward card. I'm going to move this aside for a moment, and this is where the magic happens. These are our note cards and envelopes. Now these are still some Whisper White ones that I had, but they are now available in the basic white. They are also available in Very Vanilla. And we are going to use one of our note cards. You will see there's an indentation on one side and kind of a bump, like a speed bump on this other side. You want to make sure this speed bump is going to the inside of your card. And I didn't even bring a bone folder over here to my craft desk. So we're just going to use our hands for now, but I will go ahead and go back and give this a good crease later. And we're bringing our base back in. And on my other cards, I simply glued this in the center. But since we offset the circle on this one, we are probably going to need to offset this one a little bit as well. And that's okay. Let's kind of just lay it down here. It's mostly in the center. Let's see if that, you know, I'm just going to scooch it a little bit towards the crease. And see there, that becomes such an easy, fun fold. Now we just have to decorate our card. And I'm actually going to move this out of the way. I'm going to use this in a couple different ways as we go forward. I'm going to bring in our Bumblebee ink pad. We are going to start there. This flower stamp is a two-step process, and that is where I'm going to need this piece of scrap paper, and I may or may not need it to block the leaves off on the bottom. But we're just going to kind of hold this shut, and we want this first image that we stamp to be lighter. This is a two-step stamp. I almost forgot to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And we are going to take this first image, the larger image, and we are going to stamp off, and then we are going to center that how we want it in our circle. You could do whatever shape that you want. And see, even there, it kind of didn't go super even, but that's okay. It's a very artistic stamp set. It's very forgiving. This is a great stamp set for beginners, even though it really doesn't look like it. Want to make sure that I have this turned the right way, and you'll be able to tell. And this one, we want to go on full strength. And I'm just pushing down into this cushion. These are ones that you really want to make sure you use that cushioning for. Is that not gorgeous or what? That just makes me smile. So we're working kind of backwards here. And we are going to take our Mossy Meadow and our large set of leaves. And I just want to kind of lay this out. I kind of tilted that flower so it doesn't quite line up exactly like it should. It's kind of like a tilting flower, but that is okay too. I am just fine with that. And I'm just going to make sure though that those leaves don't run up into that. I love it. It is so cute. Now you could, especially since this one is offset, if you wanted to put a greeting here, that would be more than fine. I want to kind of look at the greetings that this stamp set has. And it has, I miss you, congratulations, happy birthday, good luck, sorry, thank you, best wishes, you're lovely, I'm thinking of you. It really doesn't have like inside outside greetings. And so I am just going to, I think I am going to, because it looks a little bit offset if I don't, I think that I want to stamp this, and I have not used this stamp before. So we know that I want to kind of take that and make sure that it doesn't have any powders or residue on it from the factory. And I pardon if my head gets in the way. Love that. And then we have our inside to do however we want to. I am going to be a little bit of a risk taker here because I did not practice this. Maybe we will just scoot this aside and we will practice it together. This is a technique that some of you may or may not know about. I am going to lay down this larger image that is one, it's all leaves, it's the leaves and the flowers together. And again, since I have not stamped with this, see how this kind of beads up? That just kind of goes to show you that there's a little bit of residue on that. And I want to make sure that that's off. Now it's also not stamping as well because I don't have that padding underneath it. So what I want to attempt to do is give this a little multicolor effect. So we're going to ink that up with Pool Party. And then I have my Night of Navy marker. And I'm actually going to do my stems for the most part in this navy. And again, it's very artistic, so it's super forgiving. And I actually, they used to call this thumping. I don't know what it's called. We don't want all those going the same way. So we are going to spin it and just do it over these flowers a little bit. Kind of give it that marled look like that other one has. And then you want to make sure you clean off your marker. And we are going to huff on it with our breath. And that just kind of loosens that back up. And I want to see if I like that or not. So let's try that again. And we might just do things a little bit differently. Again, we put that in our Pool Party. And I really just want this blue to be, this Night of Navy, to be a little darker. So I may just kind of take my time, go over that on my stems better. You know, you can do your sentiments this way and get two different colors. And that's always a fun thing to do. And as long as you put the lighter color on your stamp, you'll be better. It will be a better thing for you. And then I just kind of even want to first take it along some of these areas. Just to give it a little definition, but nothing super structured. And then now I'll do some, and I'm just going to do them all this way, and I'm going to keep them towards the edge. And I think that I will like that a lot better than the effect that I had before. And even if I need to come down this side and that side, and if we don't, we will cover it up. How does that sound? We are going to experiment together. And again, I'm going to take my breath. I'm going to exhale on this. And I kind of want to see where I want to put this. I like that actually. That turned out really pretty. You know, we never know unless we try something new. Step outside of your comfort zone on your next card. And I know it kind of is different than the yellow, but it all ties back to this paper. And let's just take a little bit of this. I have a little bit left off of this. I think it went this way. Don't think I want that. But I do like this piece. So let me move some of this off my desk. And let's cut a little strip. And this is where, if you don't like to write on a card, this is a super fun thing to take up a little bit of space. Now, this is not as wide as our card front, so let's see here. I think it's just like one little tick mark back from the 3.5. And if it's not, we're going to make it work anyway. Yes, that works pretty well. And it still has this little space up here, but we don't want it hanging off because we don't want it to show while that note card is closed. This is great if you've messed up some envelopes and you have a couple extra note cards, or you can always cut your own. It's not quite as quick and easy that way, but you certainly can do it. I just thought it was so different. And I love note cards and envelopes and seeing the different ways that we can use them. So fun. Now, you can add any embellishments that you want. I kind of just kept this one. While it doesn't look like a beginner card, I think that it is very much a beginner card. I think any beginner could be successful with this. You see the lovely flower. The only thing I might do is try to move that down a little bit the next time I try this one. But it certainly is a card that will make someone happy. We could put some rhinestones on here. We could put a ribbon, whatever. But I just thought this designer series paper was beautiful and it was a great way to use it. So thank you. And then that gives you just enough room to write a little something. And you always have this side if you really like to write. And then, of course, I've done a matching envelope as well. This one was the first one I made, and it actually, I used our paper pumpkin stamp, and that's what I was playing with it. I embossed this first layer before I cut the hole out in the center. And like I said, this is a circle, but you can use any shape that you would like. And I just kind of did first generation, second generation on that one, and stamped a greeting on the inside. This one is pretty straightforward. I still may put a little bit of something on here though. I have all kinds of examples. Some of these stamp sets are going away. I believe the Country Home is one of them. And I think this tin tile embossing folder is on that retirement list as well. I admit I've been on vacation, and so I haven't looked at that list as closely as I should, but I just took some white paper. I put our ink pad and rubbed it over here, and I did a little bit with the pool party just here and there, and I cut this out, and then I stamped and then cut out these two pieces from the Country Home set, and I added a little pool party ribbon. I colored this in with my blends and just did a little accent color on those. And I did that because you don't want to color on this with your Stampin' blends because it will bleed through. So I did glue that on top, but it gave it a little bit of dimension. And then thanks ever so much. And I'm not sure which one of these two sets, of these next two, make me happier. They are both just super fun sets. This is our Well Done stamp set and the designer series paper that matches. And it is just so cute. And I punched out our little whale and his little splashes of water. And I just did the inside. And I did that same technique with a marker, only I just kind of swished it along the top there to get that two-toned effect. But I thought this one was super, super fun on that Granny Apple Green. And this happened to be on my desk from another project that I'm working on. And so I used the bumblebee again. I didn't even do anything to the front of this. I did use a larger circle because the images that I was using, they were larger. And I even actually thought about using a square, but I just kind of liked the round. And I added a little double bow here. And this actually, I cut an entire piece the same size as this note card because I was using the Stampin' blends. But I just thought these little friends from our Zoo Globe set were so adorable and are playing with patterns here and just a simple little happy birthday. I thought, oh, that's just so happy. I love that. We will just hold these shut to give you a view of all of our examples. And I just love each one of them. They're all very, very different. It just goes to show you that you can use this fun fold design for many different occasions and many different stamp sets and papers. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video and that you've learned a little bit of something new. I apologize for my absence here on the channel. I know that God designed us for rest, and that is what I decided to do. I thought I could hurry and try to do a whole bunch before we went away on our vacation, but I thought that was a little bit counterproductive, and I just took that time to rest and work on some things with my family, and we had a great time. So we always do better when we listen to what God tells us we should be doing. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.